revelators say every inspiring ideal grasps for some perpetuating symbolism, seeks some technique for cultural manifestation, which will ensure survival and augment realization. So they're defining what they mean by a cult or a culture. They say a technique for cultural manifestation. And so they use that word cult or cultural manifestation. And they use the word symbolism many, many times in that section. And what I found is that much of the rest of the revelation is giving us the tools to equips us and gives us the tools to accomplish what they're saying we must really endeavor to accomplish in that section. Because they go on to say, regardless of the drawbacks and handicaps, every new revelation of truth has given rise to a new cult or a new symbolic spiritual culture. It's a big deal developing an entire culture, right?
Right.
All ways of doing things, ways of gathering, ways of addressing each other, ways of self-conception and communication. All that is part of culture. Culture is a huge phenomenon. So they go on to say, and even the restatement of Jesus must develop a new and appropriate symbolism. Modern man and women must find adequate symbolism for their new and expanding ideas, ideals, and loyalties. So I read that, and then there was all this stuff on the socialization of religion. And what became clear to me out of that research, and so for me, this is all flowing from the revelation itself. Obviously, I'm coming with some interpretive role in that process, but I really did my best to allow the revelators to give as much in the way of indication of how to proceed to accomplish these kinds of tasks for our movement. And it's two levels. A, for our movement, and B, equipping our movement then effectively to convey and uplift the culture, the broader global culture. The import of that section is you can avoid engaging in these kinds of activities, but if you do that, you're just simply going to be ineffective as a cultural movement. I mean, that's the import.
Yeah.
What they basically say is if you want to actually change and uplift culture, spiritual culture, you have to wade into these waters.
Right.
And so you might as well use all the wisdom we're trying to give you to do it well rather than do it poorly. But
And this,
if you choose to avoid it entirely, you're basically you're going to fail. You're not going to accomplish much.
because people really want to feel like they belong to something.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
but then on top of it, as usual, there we're it's not we're challenged because not only do we need to accomplish all that you just explained, but we need to keep it simple.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's a
Yeah.
big task.
Yeah. Well, the last paragraph in that section starts off with this very, very clear line. But a culture, which is a symbolic spiritual culture, a symbolism of rituals, slogans, or goals will not function if it is too complex. So that's exactly the point you were making. So it has to be something that's simple enough for us to carry around inside of ourselves. It's like a set of touchstones that we constantly make reference to that become the guiding framework for the way we live and the relationships we're in. That's really the essence of it.